everyone, my name is Kate Kalthoff. Welcome to a Stamping to Share video. Today we are going to use a stamp set called Thankful Thoughts, and the card that we're going to create is a Christmas thank you card. There are so many times after Christmas that we'd like to send a thank you card, but then we never quite get to it because we don't have our thank you cards ready. So maybe this year we'll get our thank you cards ready to go. So this is the front of the card, and it uses the Thinlits that come in the Hearts Come Home bundle. They're called the Hometown Greeting Edgelets. And so you can, maybe you can't see, but I did put Wink of Stella on here so the snow is nice and sparkly. It says a note of thanks, and when you open it up, not only for your thoughtful gift, but also for the wonderful gift of knowing you. I think that's just a perfect Christmas thank you card. So let's go ahead and take a look at some more of these supplies. Here again is the Thankful Thoughts stamp set. You can find it in our 2017-18 annual catalog. And then you could purchase the Hearts Come Home bundle, which looks like this. There's a lot of great sentiments in this bundle. Joy to the world, and then a whole bunch of inside or outside sentiments, depending on the kind of card you're going to create. And then the Hometown Greetings Edgelets. These I especially love because you can get this little village scene. And so let's go ahead and get started creating this card. We're also using, I should mention, the Merry Little Christmas Designer Series paper. These are papers that are mostly done in old olive, black, and white. And this is the background that we're going to use, full of nighttime stars. And here's some other ones. So we'll start with a piece of crumb cake paper. This is 4.5 by 11 inches, scored at 5.5. And I've already made the score line, so all I have to do is fold it in half. I'll use my bone folder to give that a little bit of a press. We're going to do the inside panel, which I did take the liberty of stamping. I started with a piece of Whisper White paper. This is 4 by 5.25. And then what I did is I just took a 3/4 inch piece of the Designer Series paper by 4-inch piece, stuck it on this left side, and then I did stamp the inside sentiment just to save a little bit of time. So I'm going to apply adhesive along the top edge, and we'll just put this right here into our card. Give that a little press. And then we're going to start building up some layers. So the first thing that we need to create is our little village scene. So that is a 2 3/4 inch by 4.5 inch piece of Whisper White paper. We're going to run that through the Big Shot machine. And to save a little time on the video, I did go ahead and do that. So I started with my magnetic platform, then I have my cut plate, and then I have my top plate over that. I have my piece of Whisper White paper, and then this is the little village scene that I cut out. And you can just take that away. You may need to use your scissors just to snip these very edges here. It's almost exactly 4.5 inches long. And there we go. So we have our little cutout. I'm just going to go ahead and finish poking out the rest of these little windows here. The die took most of them away, but there was just a couple of little ones left. And so now I'll get this out of the way, and I think we'll go ahead and do our stamping on this right off the bat. So I'm going to use some basic black ink, and I'll just open this up, and I'll get a note of thanks. We'll ink this up, and then we'll just stamp this right here on this big snowbank. And then I'm going to take a little Brights enamel shape. I'm going to use the heart shape, and we're just going to accentuate this with a little heart-shaped accent here in Old Olive. Then I'll add my Wink of Stella, so I'm going to get some scrap paper out. And we're just going to take this Wink of Stella, and we're going to draw a little glitter here on the snowbank going along the top, and then we'll add it to the roof and chimney. And we'll add it to our tree, and then we'll add it here along the roof line again, just like we did in the first one, and along this roof line. So we're just adding Wink of Stella just in those places that we would think the snow would land to make that a little bit more sparkly. I'll hold it up to the camera. I'm not really certain if it's going to show up. I don't probably have quite the right lighting for that to show up, but in real life it looks really nice. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take another piece of the Designer Series paper. This is the one that has sort of that night sky look. This is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, and I'm going to use my snail. Maybe grab the scrap paper here just in case that Wink of Stella isn't quite dry. And I'm just going to add some snail here to the back. And then, just because I want to make sure that these little roof tops aren't flopping around, I'm just going to put just a dot of glue on some of these pieces back here. Just a few little dots just to make sure those roof tops stay flat. Then we'll grab our paper again, and we're going to set this. In fact, let me grab the scrap paper back so we can see where our edges are. I'm going to set this in flush to the bottom, and then just give that a light little press, and our little thank you scene is ready to go to the next step, which is to put this onto an old olive panel. This old olive panel is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. And again, I'm just going to use a little multi-purpose liquid glue along the back. Just make a little rectangle shape, and then we're going to center this in on this panel of old olive. Then once that is centered in, we can go ahead and we'll take basic black. This is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8, and again, we're just going to use some multi-purpose liquid glue. And the reason I love using this glue is it gives me that little bit of wiggle room. Grab the scrap paper again. It's hard to see black on black, so we'll put this here. This is going to be a 1/8 inch border around the old olive, so we kind of need to wiggle that into place so it looks just right. And that looks good. So now let me go ahead and put some dimensionals on the back. And as you can see, I added 5 dimensionals, and now we'll bring our card base in, and we're just going to center this right here on the front of our card. And our card is complete. And there it is, all pretty and sparkly. A really nice thank you card for Christmas. So here's the one I just did. Here's the one I had done in advance. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you'd like to place a product order, be sure to visit my blog at www.stampingtoshare.com, and I have links there that you can follow to place your product order. Have a great day. Bye-bye.